At the start of the movie, we're introduced to a PhD student at Oxford University named Anna. She is currently in her lab, experimenting with the reactions of electrolytes under different electromagnetic pulses. During her repeated experiments, the atoms are unaffected by pulse changes, and the conductor remains in a stable state. However, during experiment number 17, she is surprisingly able to make an electron disappear. At this moment, her colleague Nate enters the lab, and Anna excitedly shares her discovery with him. Nate believes that the electron cannot be destroyed, so it must have been relocated to another location. So, they decide to make an entire atom disappear, which is still small but takes more computational power. Anna wants to take it a step further and try it on a whole molecule, which contains multiple atoms. She hopes that this will allow her to track where a molecule goes. In the following scene, the duo approaches a hacker named Liv, who knows how to extract more computational power from a network of computers. They explain the situation to her, and she quickly becomes interested. Liv suggests using a programmatic worm to gain access to all of the university's computers. Nate is concerned because it is illegal, but Liv assures him that the virus cannot be tracked. Later, the trio arrives at the lab and starts working. Liv uses an arithmetic virus to infect half of all computers worldwide, leveraging their combined computing power. Anna repeats experiment number 17, and this time they successfully make a small branch disappear. They then experiment with marble, which also disappears in the same way as before. They conclude that the object is moving and must now determine its precise destination. In the following days, Anna continues her experiments, using bigger things each time. Excited by their success, Anna and Nate decide to create a stable wormhole. Liv tests it by throwing an object through, which unexpectedly falls on Anna. So far, the wormholes have only remained open long enough for objects to pass through. The team also plans to present their findings and secure funding. Nate uses his father's help to file for patents in Anna's name for their discoveries. They then start to imagine how their invention could change the world. During this time, we learn that Nate and Anna have been friends since their freshman year and have a crush on each other. However, neither has confessed their feelings yet. One day, Nate finally approaches her and asks her out on a movie date. But before she can respond, Liv arrives with bad news. It turns out that Microsoft has released a patch that will shut down their virus. This will lead to a loss of access to computational power from all hacked computers within a day. The news worries the trio, so they decide that they must accomplish something significant within a day to secure funding for their research. They come up with a risky plan. One of them will go through the teleportation process and record everything. They then ponder about it for a while, and Anna is chosen as the volunteer. Afterward, the trio returns to the lab, and Anna prepares to go through the wormhole. Just before she does, she teasingly tells Nate that he owes her a movie date. He responds by giving her a sweet kiss and confessing his love for her. They then begin the teleportation process, and moments later, Anna disappears before their eyes. In the next scene, Anna wakes up in her bed feeling disoriented and unable to recall what happened. She heads to the university, where she encounters animal rights activists once again. One of them, named James, approaches her and tries to tell her about their movement. Anna responds that she supports his cause, but is not feeling well and leaves. Following this, Anna heads to the lab, where she meets Liv and Nate. They inform her that they have lost computing capacity and are back to testing with atoms. They also mention that she was supposed to conduct some tests, but for some reason, she can't remember. Anna is further surprised to learn that several days have passed since their experiment. She then asks if the experiment went well, but they don't provide a clear answer. Afterward, Anna calls her mother, and the two engage in casual talk. The latter mentions that she's moving home and has found some of Anna's old belongings. She asks if she should send the items to her. However, Anna coldly responds that she doesn't need it and tells her to give it to charity. Upon returning home, Anna finds her room in a complete mess, which scares her. She tries to calm down but suddenly notices an intruder wearing a monkey mask. The person has stolen all of her scientific work, ID, and laptop. Anna pleads with him to take everything but at least give back her work. But the thief doesn't care. Enraged, she begins tussling with him, causing both of them to fall out of a window. The thief then starts running away, and she chases after him. Their chase finally ends on a narrow street, where Anna once again pleads with him. Initially, the guy pretends to oblige, but then he abruptly pushes her down the alley, knocking her unconscious. When Anna finally wakes up, it is already dark outside. She heads straight to the lab and tells Nate about the robber. However, he doesn't seem too surprised by the news. Anna then mentions that she has been feeling strange since the experiment. She has been experiencing constant headaches and has trouble remembering most of her memories. But Nate assures her that everything is fine and advises her to get some rest. The next day at the lab, Liv reveals that the cybersecurity experts have identified the virus they used. There will be an investigation because the hacking is considered cyberterrorism. Meanwhile, Anna begins to behave more and more abnormally. She doesn't eat anything but appears to live well. She also takes notes because she forgets things that happen on a daily basis. Anna takes some blood samples and goes to keep them in the storeroom. However, she finds the door closed, which is strange since it's usually left open. This makes her suspect that her friends, Liv and Nate, are plotting something and trying to steal her project. They insist that she locked the door herself and forgot, but Anna remains skeptical and angrily leaves. Outside the university, she once again notices the activists protesting against animal testing. Anna spots someone wearing the monkey mask and suspects it could be the robber. But as she looks around, she sees several people wearing the same mask, making her realize that it's a part of the protest. Just then, James approaches her and confronts her about her illegal experiments with animals. She is surprised and threatens to call the police. But James doesn't seem to care and warns her that she will pay for her actions. The next evening, Nate and Anna meet for dinner, and she wastes no time in asking what's happening with her. He insists that everything is fine and tells her to stop accusing him and live. Nate reassures her that they are her friends and only want to help. He then suggests that she write on her notepad to trust him and live, but Anna hesitates. She instead asks him to kiss her if he's telling the truth. Nate refuses for some reason, which only increases her suspicion. The next day, Anna arrives at the lab and asks for her camcorder. She wants to see what happened during the experiment. However, Nate tells her that it's at his home because he's copying the videos onto his computer. He suggests that she should maybe talk to her mother and consider visiting her. Hearing this, Anna starts to freak out and accuses them of trying to get rid of her. Later, the college dean gathers all the students for an important briefing. He informs them that a virus has infected hundreds of millions of computers, and its origin has been traced to their building. Now, a detective named Stovington has been summoned for the investigation. Upon hearing this, Liv and Nate are deeply concerned because they could be facing jail time. They try to prepare Anna for the interrogation, but she doesn't seem to be interested. The next day, Anna is suddenly interrupted by Stovington on her way to the university. He and his colleague then grab her and take her in for questioning. During the interrogation, he mentions that he's not concerned about viruses. His real focus is investigating why someone would want to access 800 million computers. But Anna denies any involvement in the incident. Later, when she returns to the university, she is cornered by the animal activists. They accuse her of illegal animal testing and claim they saw her bringing in a cat. They then try to attack her, but Anna somehow manages to escape. Following this, she goes to Nate's house with a gun and breaks in through the window. There, she finally finds the camcorder recording of her experiment and starts watching it. Everything seems to be fine in the video, and Anna is seen teleporting a few feet away. However, in the second attempt, she notices that when she goes through the wormhole, there is a brief moment where there are two versions of herself. Before Anna can process this information, Nate suddenly arrives home. He reveals that they have already explained the entire situation to her multiple times, but she keeps on forgetting. He then urges her to come to the lab with him, but she becomes aggressive and ends up shooting him. Fortunately, it's just a minor injury, but a terrified Anna runs away from there. Later, we see her in a panicked state, walking dazedly along the road. Liv finds her shortly after and takes her back to the lab. To Anna's shock, Nate is already waiting for her, seemingly fine but a bit bloody. He then begins to tell her the truth about what actually happened. Nate explains that during their first teleportation experiment, Anna moved a short distance ahead, but the wormhole remained open for too long, disrupting gravity and data. Anna then used an electronic scale to rectify the problem. They connected the scale to the generator to measure mass input. On their second try, another clone of Anna appeared and soon fainted, which scared everyone. Nate then reveals that she is not made of regular matter but of light. Her weight is like that of a photon because she teleported faster than light. Nate mentions that he's explained this to her many times before, but she keeps forgetting. Upon hearing this, Anna is shocked and cannot believe that it's true. She examines her blood sample under a microscope, but is surprised to find nothing. At this moment, the real Anna comes out of the storeroom, leaving her shocked. She confesses that she was the robber wearing the monkey mask. The three then inform Anna Photon that the algorithm has been rewritten, and she must go through the machine again to disappear. The poor woman refuses to accept this and pleads with them to let her stay. In the end, Anna Photon finally agrees to leave and asks them where she will go. They say she will go nowhere and disappear without a trace. Before leaving, Anna Photon calls her mother one last time and expresses her love for her. The clone then says goodbye to everyone and bravely walks onto the teleporter. The wormhole soon opens, causing her to disappear forever. Thank you for watching.